Hello, Christian. Thank you for your time today. It's nice that we finally get together. I had some work trouble, so thank you for offering.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's home office is not my cup of tea, but yeah, because you're always reachable and you never really finised. I hate this, but anyway,
we're all in the same situation, right?
Yeah. I don't want to. I try to stay positive in my programs, so that's why I kind of try to shut this out. So, can you please introduce yourself? Say who you are, what you're doing, and what you do in the project, and what kind of a little bit about your musical backstory, where you're coming from. Please start.
I'd be delighted. Thank you. Yeah, my name is Christian Granqvist, and I live in Stockholm, and I'm the vocalist of a band called Johnathan Christian, among some other bands as well. But so Johnathan Christian is basically a project between three people living in three different cities. I'm living in Stockholm. Then there's Jonathan Mooney, who lives in Los Angeles, and then there's Tiger Cohen, which lives in New York. And so we technically are more like a virtual band than a kind of a traditional band, and we rarely meet. But so we've made 3 albums as of today, 3 long-playing albums, and a bunch of singles. And within the dark wave or goth segment, so to speak, and the band came about also a bit virtually, so to speak. I myself played in lots of bands locally here in Stockholm in the 80s and 90s. Then I had a break for some years, and then I restarted with a band called The Atom in 2009, I think. So this was more or less when Soundcloud started to be popular, and it became kind of a community around Soundcloud. So I started to interact with some people on Soundcloud, doing some projects on my own as well there. Then I got contacted of Johnathan from Los Angeles. He had a background of playing in a band, a New York-based band called the New Creatures in the 90s, which I vaguely knew. Their claim to fame was that they were supposed to be the opening act for Sisters of Mercy in the 90s in New York.
Hello.
However, when Andrew Eldridge, the singer of Sisters of Mercy, heard them, he balked and said that these guys are too goth.
Yeah, I know. We can talk about this later. That's the funny thing, because Andrew Eldridge always said, Sisters of Mercy is a rock band, but of course, he always kept it as a rock band. And I don't care. It's cool music, but of course, today we would classify it very much into the goth direction.
Well, we always did. I would say. Anyway, it's a funny story, but of course it was a bit of a tragedy for the band, because they had invested quite a lot in this performance anyhow. So I think they broke up some time later, and he moved to Los Angeles and also had a break. So he continued to make music, however instrumental stuff, which is relatively cinematic in its kind of approach. And but he decided he needed a vocalist for the project, and so he reached out via SoundCloud to me when he heard some of my demos with The Atom and some other projects I was into, and he asked if he can send me some material, and I was like, yeah, sure, that's what it's all about. So he sent me some demos, and it was very dark and very cinematic, but I thought that this was it was mysterious and interesting. So we started to make some demos, and put them out on Soundcloud first, and we've got a relatively positive response from the kind of, how should you say, the goth community which was on SoundCloud. So we decided that, well, let's take this a step further, and we released a single and an album in 2014. The album was called Beautiful Hideous. And it got relatively well received, actually, even though it was self-produced and relatively basic, so to speak. But a lot of bloggers and reviews were positive. So we kind of like, whoa, this was fun. Maybe we should kind of take it a step further and use some help with producing and mixing and mastering, and so we actually should take it to another level. So we worked for some time, and we also then contracted Tiger Cohen, which was the drummer of the New Creatures as well, to kind of add a more live rock kind of sound to the recordings, and then we released The Nothing I Feel, an album in 2015, and we thought that this would probably kind of kick off but it turned out that I guess that there's a how should you say, people want new stuff, so actually that didn't get the same reception as the debut album. It was okay received, but we were a bit disappointed because we had put in a lot of work and effort into the recordings. Anyhow, so we said that maybe we should think of this even more as a project. Think kind of release singles and do remixes and do things which are fun instead of thinking kind of the whole album thing. Which is, I guess, I don't know, some people I guess still listen to albums but a lot of people nowadays more listen to songs, or listen to playlists and like that.
Yeah, we can talk about this a little bit. I can give you my inside scoop.
Yeah. So that's kind of how it's evolved, and on our latest single, which was called Everyday It Rains, we actually thought that maybe we should kind of go back and start collaborating with other people, and there is this female singer called Marianne Holland, which I've used in some of my solo projects, and we asked her if she was interested in doing a kind of duet with us, which she was. She's from North Wales, so it's it's one more place on the map, so to speak. And and we released that during the autumn now in September, and I think that was how I actually got in contact with you. I think I sent you on a link to that and asked if you were interested in playing.
I was a hard nut for you to crack because you sent me a few songs and I was like, oh yeah, it's good, but it's not there yet for me. Anyway, I can tell you, we can talk about this in a moment. But so just finish this and then we can talk.
Yes, all right. This was a very long introduction. Anyway, so I think I am more or less finished. But that's where we are today. It's still a project. We both have other projects in music, and we're open to collaborations with other artists as well. And I think we will continue like that. More kind of. When we get a good idea, and we'll be trying to make something fun of it, but I mean, we've never played live. So it's again, it's not a traditional band. It's more like a project, but it's been going on now for, well, our first LP was released in 2014, so we're on the 7th year now, and before that we were active as well. So we've at least been consistent in trying to produce music for some time now.
Mm-hmm. No, and I checked your channels, and you're doing well. I mean, I checked your Spotify and stuff. What I didn't found, I have to admit, because I always do a little sweep around what I can find, on my own, without any help or something. I couldn't find a website for your project, a dedicated one. I found the Bandcamp site, and I couldn't find the video you just said. I was looking for stuff on YouTube, where I would kind of check for a video, and I found my own, because I feature you in my next radio show coming up next week, and I found myself, I found I'm featuring you. Okay, good, but I didn't found the video. So,
but that's funny, because the Bandcamp is, we usually use that for just a traditional homepage kind of activity. However, there's a specific YouTube channel, which should be called Johnathan Christian, of course. But I know that in some places we've been forced to shorten it to J Christian, like. That's a bit worrying that you can't find us. So, we're going to have to look into that. But I'll definitely send you the link to our YouTube channel. That's a bit disturbing news.
Sorry, don't get alarmed. That's just I didn't really invest much time, but this is I always test this a little bit, because okay, we can talk about a lot of different things. One of the things I really don't like on these days is, the influencer mentality. Even if I'm a little influencer myself, I'm a little bit older. I don't ask you for your age, but I guess you're also a little bit older. And I hate this. But you have to play the game a little bit. And one thing I can use as a gauge to kind of see how well you play the game is how well I can find you with nothing else. With just the name. And you also made it a little bit more complicated. You put how you call this, the line in your name, what's it called, the pipe. I think it's pipe, pipe, and I get it. You have to have a name, and you have to be something unique, and this makes you, of course, unique. It's don't get it as a criticism, but it. I had trouble also. I was looking you up on Spotify and was like, okay, how do I find it? Okay, and then I found you. But I'm telling you just this because.
No, I agree. I think you're right, and I think that if we had been a bit more clever, we would probably have chosen a more, how should I say, Googleable name. However, we're kind of not in it for the money, and we're not in it for the. We just want to make music we like and have fun. But I agree. I'm point taken, so to speak.
I don't want to beat you down. It's just just my observation. I just want to do it, as a help thing. I mean, you found me, so it's possible that I find you and other things, but. Let's stay with this for a little bit, because you said you were a little bit, disappointed as as your album came out and it didn't get this. What I'm kind of aiming at a little bit is, and I'm completely with you. You're not in it for the money. That's cool. You just want to do the things you enjoy, and that's the best way anyway. If I tell everyone, just do what you like, and if you get famous, good. If not, you do what you like. I mean, there is no downside to doing this approach. To just love what you're doing. So I'm absolutely fine with it. But why were you then disappointed? I mean.
No, I was very. I think I was very positively surprised with our first album that we actually kind of broke through a little bit of the, how should I say, the noise in internet, and we actually were able to reach the community at least. And I'm not saying that everyone liked it. I'm just saying that. It was noted that we came from kind of nowhere. We released an album, and we at least got some attention. We were invited to a goth club in New York to sign records. It was cool. It was cool. So we did that, and so we thought, with that kind of in mind,
I get it.
I thought that it would be able to take it a step further, because this was a relatively basic. I love the album. I still think it's maybe our best album, but the production could be taken to another level, and which we did on the second album. I'm not saying it wasn't okay.
I think I got it. You broke in very well with your first album, and then you automatically thought that the next one, where you put in more, you refined more and you made better, that it kind of get further ahead, and it didn't. Okay, so I got it. It was just.
But having said that, the songs, as you said, you checked us up on Spotify. The songs with most plays are from the second album. So it's not. Maybe it's the duration as well. Maybe we got very much acclaim initially from the first album at once, but the actual long term of our second album has been better, but it just took more time because it has more plays.
I see. Yeah, I'm just checking it as we speak. It looks fine, maybe let's talk about it a little bit, because we met on Submit Hub. So what is your strategy to attract new listeners, new followers? Because as I can tell you, I'm a radio DJ, and I was a little bit hard to get for you. I'm sorry for that. I can tell you.
Well, I'm pretty stubborn.
No, that's good, and this is helpful. This is, of course, what you should be. But you have to see also from my side, I get a lot of music, and it's not. And I don't want to. I have to sort through, and I have to say yes or no, and this doesn't mean it's bad music or good music. It's just, at this time in my life, at this moment, I was, this sounds good. Let's take it, and you will see my radio show is a mixed bag. I'm kind of playing everything from heavy metal, industrial metal, to electro pop and goth rock, doom, gloom, whatever. I'm just that's my the freedom I have. I can do whatever I want, but. Yeah, I have to kind of also, keep some boundaries, because I get a lot of songs sent, and so I'm kind of like, this is a little bit more, anyway. So this is my apology to you that I was a little bit played hard to get. I don't do it on purpose, but you have to see. My thing is, like, I got. Since I started my radio show, I got about 5,000 songs, and I have to go through all of them, and I only need 10 or 12 per week, you know, and
look, we're here, aren't we? I mean,
exactly.
I'm extremely satisfied with you. You don't have to apologize for anything.
Okay.
So no, it's but I can tell you that it's there is a difference between 2014 and 2021. I mean, the amount of music produced. I think especially with the pandemic also, I mean, people have more time. The noise to actually push through is much more difficult today than it was for 7 years ago. And I mean, that's still kind of modern in my view, being a little older. But it's funny you say, because I mean, also I have to get back to the thing about doing what you think is fun, because for me that was a huge release of energy. I mean, in the 80s when I was young and thought I was going to be a pop star or a rock star or something.
And you are.
Yeah, of course. I forgot. I mean, you were always looking for this record contract or this deal or this TV show or whatever who would actually make it happen, and that's put boundaries on what you actually produced, because you had to adapt to what was actually interesting for you to achieve that goal, and for me that became like a ball and chain. The creativity got lost somewhere in that in that process. So when I actually kind of resurfaced as with making music in 2009 and onwards, and I did it only for myself from the beginning. That was a huge release and relief as well. And the energy which actually came out of that was extremely positive. Not having to adjust what you create to someone else, just saying, look, I want to do this music, I think it's fun, and if someone else likes it, that's fine. If not, I mean, no harm. I mean, no one's gonna get harmed by me making music, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, what I can contribute to this is what's also different is not just the pandemic, but also it's so much easier to do music today. You know, you can put it on your cell phone, you can mix a track and stuff. You know, and people do. Trust me, they do, and it's not always good. So. So yeah, I also, you know, I'm on the receiving end, and I have to you know, like you said, you have to cut through the noise. It's sometimes, I mean, it's so easy today, and that's the good thing, and it's the bad thing, because the good thing is everyone can kind of express themselves like you doing now. You know, it's your freedom. You do what you like, but so can everyone else, and they do. And then it's kind of like.
Which is a good thing, but
it's good. But it's also, you know, I mean, I have to sift through it and stuff, and that's why I'm kind of very, very strict with my. You know, I remember you wanted to get on my playlist, and on my playlist I'm even more strict than on my radio show, because my radio show is more like a mixed bag. But on my playlist I'm more goth oriented, and I was, you know, I'm listening to your stuff, and by the way, nice cover stuff. I really like the one with where you had this like it's like a Russian soldier where we put the string over the road here, you know, that the car cannot pass and stuff. Really cool pictures. I liked your artwork. Oh, we can talk about your artwork if you want. But anyway, my point is, you know, I need to kind of. I'm the gatekeeper, I know that, and that's what I meant with I hate to be a influencer or stuff, but I am, you know, and I cannot make everyone happy. So, your persistence, and this is for all the young people out there, this is the most important thing. Be persistent. You won't get rich and famous like this. I mean, maybe if you're Justin Bieber or whatever, but just enjoy what you're doing and stick with it for as long as you enjoy doing it. So, I mean, so that's kudos to you. This is exactly what you should do. And all the young guys out there too, because, they're also, okay, that's a completely different topic. Sorry for that. But I had just, in the company I worked, there was a young guy and he was 18. And the only thing he was interested in was getting get rich quick schemes. He was looking for things he can program that he would get rich in no time and then doesn't have to work anymore. And this is kind of, for me, it's really silly because it also takes the fun out of it. I mean, sometimes work is good because it kind of lets you solve a problem which you never chose to solve if you wouldn't do. I guess, we're in agreement here. We're a little bit older and we kind of see the benefit in laboring things away and doing things that you don't want to do, because once you finish them, you're more happy, that you achieved something. But
definitely. But I also think there's a kind of a cliche. I mean, the kind of earning your first million or whatever. I mean, and I think that's a cliche among, if you're 18 or 17 or 16 or something, but it kind of wears out. I mean, no one in their 30s or 40s would say stuff like that. And I'm not sure it's actually even true when you're 16 or it's something you say because it's a cliche.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean he really tries that, and I don't I don't want to bash him or something, but I just wanted to put him as a stereotype for this mindset. What I often encounter, in younger artists, that they're kind of like, oh yeah, I put this out and bam, and I'll be famous. And well, you have to work a little bit, and you have to make friends, and this is exactly what you said. I mean, you did it the right way. You found your collaborators on Soundcloud. You put out something. Now you're getting into the mixing thing and stuff. So this is exactly how things normally go. And they evolve, and you have to stick with it. And sometimes you get a nice response. Sometimes you don't. But you're getting continuously better, and you're just doing it. And I mean, you already answered the question I would have asked you. You're not living from the music, so this gives you freedom. It gives you less time for the music, I'm pretty sure, because you have a day job like I have. But on the other hand, it gives you the freedom to just do what you like, and this is also a positive thing. So
I agree. It's of course it's a double-edged sword, of course, but I think in terms of creativity, it's extremely important. For the creativity, kind of, it lives out of not being kind of chained to a must, and which means that at least for me, but I think for a lot of other people as well. I'm sure that there are professional producers out there who can actually keep their creativity going, even though they're doing kind of some kind of 9-to-5 producing job,
routine work.
But I think they're pretty unique. Most of us need the kind of freedom of creativity, and that's what makes it bloom, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a really good point, and I couldn't agree more, because I just was recently, I mean, sorry, we're talking about you, not about me, but recently I was talking with a friend about it who, does video editing for fun. And he said, okay, I never want to do this as a job, because then I have to do it and I have to be creative on the spot. It's kind of really silly to for me, it was kind of, I was acting a lot as I was younger, and some of my acting buddies, we were becoming actors. I mean, real actors on theaters and stuff. But I never wanted that, because it was kind of, it takes away the fun, because I can kind of develop the role and I can find my way with it. It's the same with music. If you if a label is there and
That's
tells me,
very funny that you're mentioning that, because I was also acting in my younger days, and I was put together with a very well-known actor in Sweden, internationally well-known, and who was supposed to give me feedback on my acting. This was very many years ago, and so he told me that, look, you're having fun on stage. And I was like, I thought that was a compliment. So I was like, yes. And he said, well, that's not how we do it.
It's work, it's labor. It's
yeah. And I was very shocked by that kind of point of view. That wait a minute, can it be fun even though it's work? But it actually helped me to kind of to choose a different line of career, which I think was probably the best thing. I think I wasn't too good an actor anyway. So
I get even the point from this guy, because yes. Even if you love something, and let's bring it back to music. Even if you love music, sometimes you just have to work through things. Then it's kind of like, I don't know. You are the singer, so you are kind of, I need to put in some more vocal tracks and stuff, and you're not really like in the mood. But sometimes. In German, we say the appetite comes by eating. Sometimes when you just start and then you're not really feeling, but then when it kicks in, and then what I mean is, even if you do it as a hobby and as a fun thing, even there you have to work. To finish something, and so But with creativity, I also think like you. I wanna stay unchained. That was a good picture you put. I don't want to ball and chain and kind of have to do things. I wanna be free and also do mistakes and not be count out for that. And when you're not famous not famous, but you're not cast anymore because you did a mistake or you did something that people say, oh, this is, you don't do that and don't say that. All different things.
No, I'm always fascinated by artists who historically have actually pulled through, even though they've kind of done their own thing. Think of David Bowie, for example. When he did the kind of Berlin trilogy, or whatever you should call it, the Low album and Heroes, and which were not at all as they were very dark. They were picturing something else, and I wasn't really around to know how they were received then, but at least in kind of an afterworld, a lot of people think that these are his best records, but he still kind of chose a different path than what he actually could have done when he achieved commercial success with Ziggy Stardust. And it would have been pretty easy for him to kind of just spin on that success.
Yeah, this is for me the AC/DC thing, kind of, where we do the same thing over. And I don't want to bash them, but for me,
they do it well.
Exactly. But for me, it would be like, oh man, I don't think I could do it, to play this for 40, 50 years or how long they have been around, the same stuff, or the Rolling Stones, cool music, but I would kind of like, I want to do something else. So David Bowie is a really good example. He could have stuck with a path he chose where he was but he kind of reinvented himself a couple of times, and that kind of kept. So
and even his last album, which was released more or less when he was dying. He actually also pushed that to a new level, and so he was never afraid of actually taking, how should you say, unpopular decisions, creativity wise, and I admire him very much for that. Then I mean, I maybe don't like everything he's done, but still, I mean, he wasn't chained to a recipe for success. He was always trying new ways, and I mean, if I could kind of even aspire to be, I mean, close to his creativity, then of course that would be very flattering. But of course I have a long way to go to that. But it's still a leading star, so to speak, for me, creativity wise.
Definitely. No, I mean, I'm like you. You know, honestly, I do not like so much from him, but the songs I like, I really like. But it's good, and I like the diversity, and that he didn't, you know, got bogged down by one genre, and that he did, you know, he did what he liked to do. I'm pretty sure. And the reinventing stuff, and that people followed this, and because, you know, sometimes I told you I'm talking with death metal bands or something, and then it's like, I hate this. Oh, this is not true death metal anymore, and this is not true that. Or who the beep cares what is true? If you always would do the same, then you would never go get something new. You know, I mean, we would all still play blues rock. There would be no metal or something. You know, this is all things, stepping stones to get somewhere else. But before I forget, I wanted to say something, because the people on the podcast who will not see it, you have a very nice mustache. I just wanted to congratulate you. You're the second person on my show who has a really, really nice mustache. I'm more like a bearded weirdo. I'm too lazy to. It's
very nice as well.
Thank you. You don't have to. You know, I'm not fishing for compliments, but thank you. You don't have to say it. I'm just too lazy. You know, whenever it gets too long, I just cut it off and let it grow again. That's me. But you really put in some work in your mustache.
I can really tell good. Everyone who listens to this, and I can tell them that life with a mustache is much more fun than life without mustache.
I think so.
And I know this for sure. So I can. I mean, if anyone is bored or has a problem in their life or in any way, at least try it. It may work.
Yeah, people. So I mean, let's stay with it, because you just brought it up, and it's funny, and you know, you really you put in some products and stuff to keep it twirled and stuff. You really you just monocle would suit you as well, you know.
I'll tell you a secret. I have a monocle,
really?
But I thought it would be a little over the top.
It's cool. No, it's cool. It's cool. You would fit in perfectly to, you know. I don't know if you have ever been there in Leipzig to the Wave Gothic meeting, you know, as a
no, I actually
steampunky or whatever.
Yeah, I know it very well, but I've actually never attended. I'm still waiting for the invitation as an artist.
Me too. Exactly. I only go there when I get invited, so it's the same with me here. No, but while we are on the subject, before we close it out, so what is your? Do you have any funny stories with your mustache when you go shopping or so? I mean, at the moment, of course, with
the funniest story with the mustache is actually how it came about. Because I was in a divorce, a separation, which always is a bit difficult. And but the thing was that it took some time before we actually kind of moved out, and during this time it was first Christmas, so we and then it was New Year's Eve, and we decided not to go to a New Year's party. This was before the pandemic, and instead kind of stay at home with our children, and you know, which made it a bit bizarre, because when it became the midnight, and we took the champagne, and we were supposed to toast each other, but I mean we knew we were we were not going to spend the next year together. So it was a bit depressing, so to speak.
But it seems like an amicably divorce, you know. I mean, you didn't
definitely.
fight.
But still, after so it was like, yeah, well, good luck to you next year, and good luck to then, and then afterwards, I got a bit depressed, and so I sat down and the TV was on. I rarely look at TV. I don't have the calm, but at that point I was like a bit in sorrow. And there was this film from the 80s called what's it called? I don't know I don't know the English.
Plot. I know a lot of.
Well, it's from the Riviera, and they're two con men, and it's Michael Caine and what's his name with the white hair. Anyway, they're conning people.
Okay.
So they're dressing up and in very fancy clothes and very fancy houses, and they're conning people with a smile. But they have and Michael Caine has a very exquisite mustache. And I was looking at this, and it was funny. So I started to laugh, and I looked at it, and I said, because I had a mustache when I was younger, and I thought maybe it's time for me to actually regrow my mustache, because it looks as if having a mustache, life with a mustache, is actually more fun than one without.
Yeah,
and I can definitely tell you that it's true.
Yeah, I always, I remember as a child, I always wanted to have a beard. And I told my mother, and she was like, you don't grow out of it. And I always wanted to have a full beard, But so that's why for a while
I can't have one because it itches too much. I get crazy.
I know what yeah.
I think I would like to have one at some points in my life, but every time I tried it, I get crazy. So I kind of envy you and all other people having a nice beard, because you seem so calm about it. If I would have the beard, I would be running around like a fox with a rash or something.
I see. I guess you have to get used to it a little bit. And what I wanted to say is, like, in my past I did a lot of medieval sword fighting, and I always wanted to look like a Viking. I had long hair and then a long mustache, and I'm a little bit reddish, so it would be cool Viking.
Viking like Obelix in.
Thank you. No, not Obelix. No. I'm
sorry.
The pandemic makes me a little bit fatter. That's true. Thank you. But first I was fishing for compliments, and now
But okay. I just saw the red hair kind of.
The talk is over now. I'm gonna stop now the recording. This is it. This is how you don't get friends. No, it's fine. It's fine. I get it. I'm Obelix, Idefix, and Asterix and stuff. No, not like that. So, okay, let's move on. Thank you. I don't want to dwell on this. One thing I'm always asking is, you already said that because of the how your project came about, there is no live renditions at the moment, because you live in 3 different places: New York, LA, and Stockholm. And if you get the singer, then you have UK as well. So, but how do you just walk me through the how do you finish a song, or how does a song start, and how do you get it to finish? Because this is also the thing today. You could you can mix it and master it 1,000 ways, and but somebody has to say, okay, now it's done. So how do you get through a process?
There's also an interesting story around this, because when we worked a lot for our first album, then we had never met, me and Johnathan, and which was a bit bizarre. And there's a 9-hour time difference between, so we never spoke in real time. There was always these So I kind of made some stuff or some alterations or some ideas, and I sent it to him, and then he picked it up while I was sleeping, and then so I woke up every morning with kind of like at least 10 messages a night, which could range between, you know, oh, this is awesome, this is great, this is wonderful, to this is so bad, I don't want to hear this. This is awful, and which was, and when you wake up and that's the first thing you see on your mobile. I mean, if you're a bit emotional as well, you get like, who is this person? Who am I? And what is our relation? How does this work? And then just before we actually were supposed to release, I thought, what if he doesn't exist?
Okay.
What if, think like, you know, the film Fight Club, you know, when I'm not
imaginary friend, you have an imaginary friend.
What if actually I'm going up at night and sending these messages to myself in some way? Which made me a bit scared. So I actually said to my family that maybe we should actually have a vacation in California or something. And I didn't say that my real intention was that I need to go there to see if this person really exists. Which he did. He's a really nice guy. It was which was very calming that I wasn't totally schizophrenic sending angry messages to myself. But that's how it works. I mean,
maybe stay a little bit. Sorry for interrupting, but stay a little bit there. How was your first meeting going? Because it's kind of like, you know, it's a little bit like online dating, you know, and then you meet the first time. So how was it? I mean, just walk us a little through this, and then we go back to the subject.
Yeah, no, we had a date in San Diego, which is a really cool city, and he obviously knew it much better than I did. So he said that, look, we'll book because he lives in Los Angeles. Let's book a room at an hotel, which he suggested, and we'll meet at this bar. And I really didn't know what to suspect or to expect, because I mean, as you say, it could have turned out in any way. He could have been a blind date. He could have been a murderer or something. But it turned out, I mean, we were more or less the same age. We had a lot in common background, and I mean. We had a wonderful night, and we with lots of wine and. It
sounds really like a romantic lovers meeting for the first time.
But having said that, our relation is very very emotional in another way. It's a little bit like a relation. Yeah, you're right, because we get really angry on each other sometimes, and I don't know how many times we've actually kind of canceled the band or the project, because but that's a bit common among people who do music. I mean, I've almost always had those type of band fights, kind of with all the bands I've been in, and some kind of end good and some end bad, but in this, I mean, we've still kind of hung in there for at least 7 years, still producing music. So I think this one is a good one, and it's a stayer. So but maybe it's like. You know, some relationships, they say that you need a pause from each other sometimes. You know, maybe you don't need to live together, or maybe some people actually find other ways of of making a relationship work, and we're in two different continents, so that's also a way to kind of keep a distance when you need it. So and when it's sometimes a bad thing, but sometimes maybe a good thing. I don't know.
Yeah, but my observation is kind of also, because you said Bandfights and stuff. I'm a very agreeable person, but I fight with you if it's really worthwhile or it's really important for me. So I'm completely with you. It means just that music is very important for you. That's what I'm hearing here, because you're not giving, like, oh yeah, just do it like this, and the chorus can be like, oh, I don't care, blah blah. This is not how you perceive it. It's really, your child, your brainchild. Exactly, it's emotional, and this is how it should be. So that's why I'm completely with you, saying that you fight, because I only fight with people who I'm really want to. That we understand me, if I have a stranger on the...
It's like an inner circle, yes. I mean,
exactly.
It's true, and I think we're definitely within each other's inner circle, because it's which is a good thing, I think, because it also means that you can actually be vulnerable, and you can be, and sometimes one is pushing the other, and sometimes the other. I mean, it's like I don't know what this is. It's like a horse carriage. I guess that's it can't be the same horse who is strongest all the time pulling the carriage. I mean, sometimes one is tired, and some I guess then the other horse or the other horses get to pull the heavy load, but it works out well.
Yeah, and you just said, you're allowed to be vulnerable in this circle, and this is of course when you make, when you open your heart, when somebody can stab at it, if you kind of shield yourself, then it's kind of what I meant, it doesn't really matter what they say, I don't care. But if somebody where you opened your heart to says something what you don't like or don't, want to hear, then it really hurts, because you kind of opened your heart. And that's the good thing and that's the bad thing, because it means you take them really seriously, and you really want to hear what we want to say. But yeah, it also can hurt you more, This is like, I don't want to dwell on this. You have been in a relationship, you got through a divorce, and this usually hurts. I have been through a divorce as well, so I'm kind of, know where you're coming from, and I had an amicable divorce as well, so everything is fine. But it still hurts, because you opened your heart and you wanted to stay with this person for good and bad. Anyway, let's go back to music, and thank you for your first date impressions. So let's finish the thought. How do you come to end a song? You already said you're sending back and forth things, but somebody has to say, okay, now we keep it like it is.
Yeah. No, and there I would say, even though I'm probably the one screaming the loudest of different things, but the final touch is almost always done by Johnathan. So he kind of rounds it off, and being the more kind of producer in this project. So I produce a lot of stuff on my own, but this project is kind of curated or produced by him. So I'm the kind of I'm the guy making the inputs, and he's the one who actually eventually puts down his foot and saying, "This is it. This is working."
Okay.
Because I agree, they're always. You can't have consensus decisions on everything. It's impossible, and even though you can do compromises, which sometimes works, but sometimes it doesn't work. Someone needs to actually be the one deciding, and it's like in a kind of any job, so to speak. It becomes difficult if if no one actually takes the decisions.
Because also, you know, the downside of it is also, if you don't have this person, you never finish. You know, it's kind of it can always, you know, there can be an echo there, and then there can be a effect there and stuff. I just wanted to ask you something else, and I slipped my tongue. Missed. Sorry. What did you just?
No, but it's all. But before you remember, I mean, it's for me, it's good to have different roles in different projects. I mean, I have other bands, and there maybe I have a more, so to speak, dominant position in some, and sometimes I can take a more kind of side, and the dynamics actually change when you change role. You're not the same person, and things happen when you kind of shift roles within a project, or if you have a different role in another project. So that's also interesting in the dynamics of everything. I would say. Sorry,
No, sorry. So I forgot my question. I cannot remember. It doesn't really matter. So you already said there is a video which I haven't seen yet, because if you want, I can explain a little bit about SoundCloud. It might be interesting for some viewers and some listeners. Because we met on SoundCloud, as I have a channel there, and you know, you submit your music there, and I can, you know, check it and see, you know, like we talked about, if it's in my playlist or if it gets in my radio show and stuff. And also there is videos you can submit on SoundCloud, but I'm not a video channel. So that's why, I mean, you can send it to me, and some people do when I watch the video while I'm listening to it, but I'm not a YouTube video channel. I sometimes put things in my you know, in one of my playlists. If I really, you know, if it's well done and I really like it, you know, it has to go through a few hurdles. I told you, you know, I'm not easy to get. But
no, I know this. I know that you're not I'm not looking to air it in any way. But on the other hand, I'm so self-preoccupied that I actually thought you may be interested.
No. Don't get me wrong. I'm interested. Please let me see it. I want to see, because no, this is one of the things we can talk about if you want, because you already touched on this in the beginning, how you release things, because, you know, I talk with a lot of bands and artists and stuff. Some say, okay, we only do one really cool video for the whole album or for the whole EP. Others say completely the opposite. They say, make a video for everything, and, you know, it should be a new single, a new video, and, you know, when every week something happens, and when you get, you know, the algorithms working for you and stuff, they're back to the thing, you know, that I hate to be an influencer, but I am a little bit, and I have to work with the algorithms and kind of feed the machine, and so what is your current way of releasing things? Whenever you finish something, you just bring it out, or how do you get from A to B?
Yeah, no, I mean, the kind of, I mean, as far as releasing is concerned, I mean, we've had contacts and potential contracts with different record labels. We actually don't think that they're adding so much value to the process nowadays, and we definitely don't want to kind of, again, lose momentum in our creativity by having to discuss different things with a record label. So we've been releasing everything by ourselves as of today. And then you, of course, you use an aggregator, and there's lots of them. Everyone knows this, of course, but as you're asking, I'm still saying this, even though it's common knowledge. and they're very easy to use, and very convenient, and for digital releases. For physical releases, we've been using Bandcamp as our primary kind of distribution. Again, we're on different continents, so there's always a logistic issue on where do we actually send, because there's if you're in Germany, the cost of sending a vinyl LP or a CD or whatever is much higher if you send it from US than if you send it from Stockholm. So it depends on where you think you have your audience, and also when we started, some of the markets like Italy, Japan, US as well were not fully digital. They actually, the kind of physical CD market was still kind of vivid, which surprised me, being in Stockholm where everyone had gone digital for years. And now it's the other way around, of course. I mean, vinyl is rising again, and
even cassettes. I had a band who brought out a cassette, and I didn't even know cassettes are still around. You know, I was like, what?
Yeah.
You know,
a cassette became cool for a couple of years ago again. And the young people started sending cassettes around, which is a bit fun, but everyone who's actually been using cassettes for years know that
it's not the best medium.
No, and then we've been trying different kind of ways of cutting through the noise. Everything from kind of a more kind of guerrilla marketing approach, doing the most of it by ourselves, because we actually think it's easier to cut through if you're being a person instead of an agent but that probably differs between different channels and different people as well. But the few times we've tried to take help in marketing and kind of PR, I haven't been very impressed. I mean, everyone wants to earn a quick buck, of course, but they haven't kind of thought of anything or done anything which I couldn't really do myself if I just had a little bit of time. But I'm sure there are a lot of brilliant PR people and marketing people out there which I haven't met. So if anyone is listening to this and saying, look, you just haven't hit the right person, then well, fine, chat me up on Soundcloud or our Facebook page or wherever, Instagram, and let's discuss it. But as of today, we do the most of it ourselves.
Yeah, no, I have to admit, I myself had a run-in with like 4 or 5 different labels, and they all were, you know, completely the opposite of what you thought a label should be. You know, we want money from you, that they do exactly what you said, you know, what you can do on your own if you have some time and stuff. So I completely stopped with the things, you know. The last thing I did, I had to admit, because I talked with 2 people already who are on Cleopatra Records, and this is, of course, Cleopatra Records is where Ministry resides and stuff. So I was like, oh yeah, Cleopatra Records, I really would like to be on as well. And with one guy I talked with, he said, you know, I just sent my stuff there, and they, you know, 3 weeks later they came back to me and was like, you know, we take you, and was like, okay, I'm going to try that. So this was the last time, but otherwise I had only, you know, like you said, with very nice words, substandard delivery of things, and you can do it. That's also the good and the bad thing. You can do it yourself today. You can do a lot of things yourself today. By the way, I wanted to, because we already hit the 1 hour mark, I wanted to ask you before, we might wrap it up, who's doing your artwork, or how because I really like your artwork, and but it's the only thing I can tell you, and don't get it the wrong way, because, and I'm, it's my own fault as well, but it's not consistent. It's kind of sometimes it's a picture, sometimes it's a photograph, sometimes it's that's not. Don't get this wrong. I like how it is, and it's freedom again. But how do you decide on your artwork, and where did you get it from?
Yeah, well, the creativity is our own. I mean, we have this idea on what we want to kind of signal or convey with our artwork. Then we've been using different artists, because we also like that there is kind of a cross kind of I can't find the right word.
You're not bogged down. You're not kind of
it's creative, and which means and there are a lot of very talented artists out there which also have problems finding work, and so, which is a good thing, of course, if you want to hire. And the thing is that he who did the most of our artwork is an American guy. He used to do covers and stuff for Stephen King things. He was a relatively kind of how should I say? His CV is pretty good, but nowadays he lives in this somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and only does kind of stuff he likes, and it's very embarrassing, because here, of course, I should mention his name and make him famous, but I'm really bad at names, and his name is eluding me for the moment. But it's on our website. It's on our Facebook page. Okay. He's a really good he's a really good artist, and he really understands what you want to kind of say and what you want to convey. So I would Alex. His name is Alex something. Anyway, so if anyone is interested and likes the artwork, then he's the guy. He's your man.
Yeah, I'm going to link to your account anyway, so people can find it. So that's if you're interested in. So we talked about the video which is coming out, which I'm really looking forward. I will watch it. Don't worry, I'm looking forward to see it. But what else is there? I'm kind of getting to wrap up things. What is coming? Yeah. What is there to expect from Johnathan Christian?
Yeah, we're currently recording a single. Again, we've kind of. We're going to do more singles, I think, going forward than albums. But I'm not saying we're not going to do an album, but it should be coming out during the spring. Things always take longer time than I think, but again, it won't be on your playlist, I would think, because it's almost a ballad, and it's a very sad ballad about two people living in the same building and alone, same apartment building, and they're secretly in love with each other, but they only see each other in the hallway or the elevator. But they never meet. They never kind of pull it through. But they're kind of dreaming. So again, we're going to do this as a duet, where the kind of the two different people are singing the different.
So with a UK singer, what was her name again?
Marianne Holland.
Okay.
Very talented and nice person to work with. So I would love to work more with her if I can. I'm hoping she will submit the female voice on the track. Maybe if she sees this, she will be flattered and
yeah. How did you meet her? How did you get to know her?
Again, I was doing I was doing some tracks for years ago with another person on SoundCloud who lived in Wales, called Martin Eve. He goes under the name Fourth Eden and does, how should I say, electronica, very ambient stuff. But we did some tracks where we kind of mixed the ambient and the more not goth, but how should I say?
Dark wave electro, dark electro, or something.
Post-punk synth kind of analog stuff. And anyway, so he was on SoundCloud as well early. This was in 2009, 10 or something. And when we were a community which listened to each other and helped each other with different things, and Marianne was another person. But eventually they became a couple, which is very romantic and goes back to your kind of dating theory.
SoundCloud is a dating site, I didn't know.
And they're still together, which is very nice. Yeah, we still have contact from time to time, and sometimes we do projects together, both within Johnathan Christian, as I said, but also within my solo projects and other things. So they're a great team, but again the connection was made at yeah. Which is, I mean, a German company, but a Swedish innovator. It's based in Berlin, if I'm not incorrect, but it's two Swedish entrepreneurs who started it. But it's changed a lot since from the beginning. It was more collaborative. Now it's more of a PR tool for record labels and curators, I guess.
I have to admit, I never really got into SoundCloud, so I cannot really say much about it. I have a friend from Belarus who's using SoundCloud extensively, and he was on my program as well and explained a lot. But yeah, I decided, I'm a one-man show. I'm a one-man army, so I don't stretch myself thin and don't be everywhere. So I'm not on SoundCloud. So, but anyway, if it works,
I don't use it much anymore yet. But when it was new and was much more collaborative, I was more or less addicted. I thought it was wonderful, but it was also when I kind of, how should I say, found my way back to music again and started making music. So it was part of a bigger kind of puzzle, I would say.
Yeah, it sounds, for me, it was like, I found a lot of things as I started also with music out again on Reddit. And I was very big on Reddit. I did a lot of, there's a lot of forums and a lot of help you got and information and stuff. So it seems to be like, I used that, and now I'm almost never on Reddit anymore because, I learned my stuff, and now I found my things, what I'm doing. I found my niche. I have a radio show. I have my playlist, and now I'm starting out with my own music again as well. So anyway. So, okay, thank you very much. So there's a new single coming up, and maybe as singles can become an album. So doesn't mean there is no album at the end, or an EP or something.
True, very true.
So yeah, please keep in touch and send me the video link. I'm gonna watch it. And also send me the logo so I can put it as a thumbnail. This will be cool with your mustache. Yeah, so thank you very much for your time.
Thanks very much for taking the time and inviting me to the show. It was an honor, of course.
I'm just a little a micro influencer, so don't worry about it. But that's fun to talk with you.
That's the market I'm trying to. I mean, that's the best. So keep up the good work to be asked.
I will.
And because we all need you.
Yep. No, I hope so. This is like you said about music. I wouldn't do that if I wouldn't like it. For me, it's fun to get. I'm talking with you now, and this is great. And we're in the middle of a pandemic, but I get to meet new people all the time, and it's really fun. I never really know what I'm getting, because I didn't know you before. Now I got to know you in our little talk, and that's very gratifying for me. And this is really fun to get to know people. And you said it yourself, SoundCloud is your dating site. I'm I'm using SubmitHub for dating people. And who knows? Once the pandemic is over. We might even meet. You're in Europe. You're not so far away, and in Sweden.
When we're both invited to play at the Leipzig.
Exactly, in Wave Gothic Treffen. When we're there, if you get invited, let me know when I'm coming to see you. And if I get invited, I let you know. And when you come to see...
That's a deal.
That's cool. And when you come with your nice mustache and the monocle, and then, you will look really cool. Wow. So thank you very much, Christian. It was really fun to get to know you. I sent you all the details later. Please also you got my email now. Just send me everything I need. And then I sent you, once it's the podcast and the video, I sent you all the stuff in a bit.
That's perfect. Great.
Okay. So have a good evening and all the best. And let me hear from you again, please.
Definitely.